Thanks for meeting with me, Jerry. I didn't know who else to talk to who was such a good friend to me and John. Not just friends, I hope. I love you both equally, even though I've known him longer. I appreciate it. She sighed and seemed to be searching for words. Janice, take your time. Tell me what the problem is. John has changed in the last 6 months. What exactly? I don't know how to explain it. He's become more distant. That's probably the most accurate word. He never smiles when he comes home. The first thing he does is grab a drink. He used to kiss me first. I think it doesn't matter what I cook for dinner. He just eats and goes to his office. Maybe he has a lot of work to do right now. That's what he says when I ask. I confronted him and told him that after work he should pay attention to me and not to his work. He looked at me like I was crazy. Several times I heard, "Now I have a lot of work to do. I'm doing this for us and our future. If you don't want me to work from home, I'll just stay in the office longer." I'm afraid to put more pressure on him because I'm afraid I won't see him at all. I just go to the bedroom and cry. What about sex? I know it might be too sensitive for you. You're the only one I trust with this information. We have sex much less often than we used to, and when it happens, it's sex, not love. He does it, and then falls asleep. I've been left unhappy many times. I hope I don't confuse you with my story. It doesn't bother me. First of all, I'm glad you trust me with your problem. Secondly, I'm amazed that John doesn't appreciate what a beautiful, caring, and smart woman you are. You deserve to be made love to every night, no matter how much you want. I appreciate it. I wish John thought the same. Have I really changed that much? I know. I have a little bit of a belly now, and I've always had small breasts. Am I no longer attractive to him, or has he found someone more attractive than me? If he found someone else, it's not because you're not attractive. If John wasn't in the picture, men would be lining up at your door to ask you out. I'd be first in line. Those are kind words. Thank you. Did he give you any signs of betrayal? Did he stay late at the office? Did he go on business trips more often? The smell of perfume on his clothes? No, but that's no consolation. He's too smart to fall for cliches. I worry about his office. I wonder if it's because he brings so much work home because he does naughty things in the office. Have you seen how many beautiful women work there? Yes, I did, Janice. None of them compare to you in beauty or personality. If he is seduced by one of these women, it must be because you were so good to him that he fell into the trap of accepting you for granted. What? You've been married almost 7 years? That's about the time when these things happen in a lot of marriages. So should I do something to make him notice me more? I started wearing more revealing clothes around the house. I asked him to take a shower with me. I expressed great satisfaction when we had sex, but it doesn't seem to matter. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You were such a wonderful wife that he felt safe not giving you as much attention as you deserve. You became a safe base for him from which he can seek fresh sensations, knowing that he will always be able to return to you if unsuccessful. So, you think he cheated on me? I don't want to think that way. It would really hurt me if he cheated on you. It could even end our friendship. I wouldn't want to lose my best friend. The only thing worse is losing both of you. Jerry's eyes turned red. Tell me what to do. I have no idea. I think he needs to be reminded how lucky he is to have you. Stop doing so many things for him. I suggest leaving hints that you might be seeing other men. Talk about some new, handsome guy on a job where all the women go crazy but don't name names. Throw a bachelorette party and dress sexy. In general, dress sexier for work. Tell him that sometimes you have to stay late at work. Will he think I'm crazy if I do this? You want to upset him. You want to change the interaction at home. John is unlikely to do anything rash unless he has pictures of you with another man. He will finally start listening to you when you tell him what bothers you about his behavior. This will give you the opportunity to get your marriage back on track. Janice sat and absorbed Jerry's words. He got a big smile on his face and added, "Sure, you could tell him you're pregnant, but you're not sure he's the father." Janice hit Jerry on the arm but laughed. "This will definitely attract his attention and will definitely lead me to divorce. Let me get serious again. Divorce is the worst thing that can happen. What's even worse is an unhappy marriage. You are still young and very attractive. If you don't change anything in your behavior and expect a different result in your marriage, I know. That's the definition of insanity. I just don't like the idea of playing games with him, but if I can't think of anything else, I have to go. Thanks, Jerry. You're a good friend. She stood up and they hugged. Call me. Anytime. I'll always be there. When Janice left, Jerry thought to himself, finally, I have a chance on her. I couldn't have planned this better myself. Now I need to plant doubt in John's mind. Hello? Hi, John. It's Jerry. Do you have time for lunch today? I'll treat you. Thank you for the invitation. I would love to go, but I'm stuck at work. Maybe another time. John, I don't want to be melodramatic, but we really need to meet for the sake of your marriage. What? What's wrong with my marriage? It's too much to talk on the phone. I hesitated before calling you, but now I can't remain silent. If you're sure everything is okay with you and Janice, just forget I called. See you at the 8th Street Grill at 12 hours. John saw that Jerry was already sitting at the table and joined him. He ordered a drink and immediately began. So what makes you think there's something wrong with my marriage? Well, you know that Janice and I sometimes have lunch together. She called me the other day and asked to meet. You see, I'm breaking the trust she asked me to keep. You're my oldest friend. I just couldn't keep quiet. Anyway. The weird part was that she said, please don't tell John. I thought that was weird, and was trying to remember if you had any birthday or anniversary. Basically, she directly asked me if you were cheating on her. What? Why would she even think I was cheating? Well, have you noticed anything unusual at home lately? I've had a lot of extra work lately, but I told her it's temporary. She seems upset that I'm not as loving as she'd like. I've tried to give her attention at least every now and then. I thought that would suit her. Maybe I should actually take more care of her. I'm afraid it may be too late. What do you mean? I think she's sure you're cheating on her. She says you probably think she can't find someone to cheat on like you. From her description of the men who hit on her at work, I think she could have slept with someone already. She better not do this. I will quickly divorce her. Wait, guy. I didn't say that's exactly the case. It's just that if she's accusing you of cheating, I'm sure it's to cover up her own cheating. I have no doubt that she thinks it's justified. An hour ago, I was sure that I was happily married, and now, what do you think I should do? You need proof of this or that. You can hire a private investigator, or I can do some digging myself. She still seems to trust me with some of her secrets. Damn, I can't afford a private investigator. Could you check more closely? Is there anything else? It pains me to say this, but you should probably talk to a lawyer. Lawyer? Isn't that premature? No, it's called planning. Just because you look at your options and prepare what you think is a fair settlement doesn't mean you have to do anything about it. Besides, you don't know. You haven't addressed. Has she already seen a lawyer? Okay, I think that's reasonable. Anything else? Don't change anything about your behavior at home. She might get suspicious, and then I won't be able to find out anything for you. Okay, it makes sense. It won't be easy. Jerry knew that it would not only be difficult, but also impossible. If someone is told not to change, what happens? They change their normal behavior in an attempt to make sure they are behaving normally. Janice's next meeting confirmed that he was right. Jerry, he's gotten weirder lately. Something's definitely going on. I've been hinting at my alleged cheating, but he doesn't seem to pick up on it. He's hiding something. I just hope it's not cheating. Honestly, I'm breaking my promise of silence, but I care about you too much to remain silent. John turned to a lawyer, a divorce lawyer. What? That bastard? He's just going to sue me for divorce without talking to me first. I'll skewer him with fondue forks. Calm down. You need to act smart. You can't let him know you're aware, or he'll realize I was the source of the information. I'm with you, but I'd like to remain his friend. I hope you understand. Of course I'm sorry. It must be hard for you to see two of your friends in such trouble. What do you think I should do? The first thing you need to do is hire a lawyer to prepare for a pre-strike or a quick response. Start with an offer that goes beyond what you think is fair. This should shock him and make him realize what he's missing out on. Maybe he will even try to convince you to give up the divorce. Secondly, I would recommend hiring a private investigator, but it's expensive and you probably won't be able to hide the payment from John. How about I keep an eye on him? He still seems to trust me. Honestly, Jerry, will you show me proof that John is cheating on me? Will you do that to your old friend? Jerry took one of her hands in his. It hurt me, Janice. Yes, John is my best friend, but I don't understand how you can doubt how much I care about you, too. I would never let anyone hurt you if I could avoid it, even my best friend. I'm sorry that I doubted you, Jerry. It's just that I've never had a close male friend other than John. I have to realize that you may be my only true male friend. I can't express how much it means to me to have someone who cares so much about me. I wish I could give you more than just gratitude. Jerry thought to himself, "Oh, you'll give me more. Be sure of it." Well, John, I'm sorry to say that Janice is probably cheating on you. Look at this. They look really close. Who is this guy? Kent Travis from her work. This must be the guy she can't shut up about. The perfect guy. I'm not surprised. Send me a copy so I can send it to my lawyer. Sorry, old man, I can't. First, adultery is not grounds for divorce in this state. Second, it probably won't be accepted as evidence. And most importantly, since it was done without their permission, I could get into a legal trap if her lawyer finds out about this. I did this so you could confirm your assumptions. So, are you going to start a divorce? I don't know. As bad as things are now, she's been a good wife for over 6 years. As long as you know it. Yes, but I feel like I owe it to her to try to explain. I think it's only fair. Only fair? I thought you had more backbone. I never thought you would agree to be a cuckold. I'm leaving here. Jerry smiled, turning his back to John. He hoped that challenging John's masculinity would work. Now all that was left was to test out my Photoshop trick on Janice. It doesn't show much. They were very careful. Look where her hand was on his arm. She hardly took it off once she put it down. I couldn't get into a position to show you her eyes when she looked at John. They shouted, "I can't wait to be alone with you." I was lucky to get the pictures I have. John was starting to get nervous that I was taking so long. It pains me to say it, but if he's not sleeping with her now, it's only because they're waiting for him to get a divorce. Why hasn't he filed a divorce suit against me, yet if he wants to get involved with her so much? He said his lawyer is trying to figure out a way to protect more of his funds from the divorce. You might want to file first to freeze his funds where they are. The papers are ready, but I thought I needed to face him first. I don't have definitive proof of infidelity. Jerry started to get nervous. Janice, he has a divorce lawyer. He's trying to hide money from you. He's become distant and indifferent to you. You saw another woman fix her eyes on him. What more do you want? I didn't think you'd be alone. The kind of woman whose husbands get beaten, but they refuse to sue them and let them come back to beat them again. I'll lose respect for you if you do that. Jerry, what would I do to not go crazy without you? You'll never have to worry about that. I'll always be there for you. This time they parted with a hug and a short kiss. Jerry was in seventh heaven. He had to pinch himself to believe his happiness. Looking at the calendar, he guessed that by the end of the month he would be sleeping with Janice. He needed one more advantage to complete his plan. Confidential information. Jerry dropped by to see Janice and John when he knew John would be out and Janice would be home. What are you doing here? John isn't back yet. I know, I need one of John's tools. He said I could come in for a second to get it. Do you know where he is? Of course. Don't let me stop you from making dinner. Jerry went to John's workshop and took the dirtiest tool he could find. He returned to the kitchen. Jerry remarked, I'm afraid my hands are dirty. Can I wash up and clean my instruments in the bathroom on the first floor? Boys and their toys. Just use paper towels. The rule here is, if you make a mess, clean it up yourself. No problem. By the way, could you give me a glass of water? With ice, please. While Janice went to get water, Jerry propped up the microphone under the kitchen table. Then he went to the bathroom. By the time he left, Janice had already prepared him a drink. He drank it in one gulp and left. As soon as he got into the car, he called John and asked to borrow the instrument he now had. No problem. Jerry stopped. The microphone had a limited range. He could hear Janice doing kitchen chores. Soon, he heard the door open and close. "I'm home." Janice didn't answer. The sounds of dinner being placed on the table were as follows. Janice asked what he wanted to drink. John said he was already holding his drink in his hands. After a moment, John said, "I remember a time when you served food worthy of a faithful, hard-working husband." "Well, I remember a time when I had a faithful husband." "What do you mean by that?" "If anyone here is unfaithful, it's you." "To hell with you. I was a faithful, loving wife for many years, and what did that get me? A husband who took me for granted, chose his job over his wife, and is now preparing for a new mistress when he divorces me. Where do you get the idea that you can talk to me like that? I've worked hard for us, our future, our family, our pension. Do I get any recognition or gratitude from my wife? Yeah, of course. Instead, she's starting to look like slutty when she goes to work. She brags about her new boyfriend's qualities to mock me. She goes behind my back and hires a divorce lawyer without even telling me that she has a problem with me. You're the one with the blonde girlfriend who can't keep her hands off you. I saw the photo. Yes, I went to a divorce lawyer, but that was self-defense. You already got yourself a lawyer. Now you're trying to hide money from me, so you don't have to pay me my fair share in the divorce. I'll sue you tomorrow. I'll download our account information now so you can't hide any more money. You're just delusional. You're making up all this about me to cover up your own betrayal. Okay, so be it. You can give yourself to Kent. I don't care. I'm leaving." Jerry heard the door slam. He was pleased. The overheard conversation between Janice and John confirmed that he had succeeded in starting the fire. Now all he had to do was make sure that no one poured water on him. A few minutes later, Janice called, crying, sobbing. "Janice, we had a terrible fight. He left. Is he not with you?" "No, I think he went out for a drink. How are you feeling? Do you need me to come?" "No, I think I need to be alone in case John comes back. I'm afraid he'll be mad at you if you're here. He didn't hit you, right?" "No, but he still hurt me. He denied he did anything wrong and accused me of terrible things. John really seemed convinced of what he was saying. We should have had an adult conversation. But it all came out. Under control so quickly. I hope he comes back so we can talk. He made some wild accusations about a guy named Kent. Do you know anyone with that name?" "Only Clark Kent." "Well, if he calls you, please ask him to call me." "Are you sure you want to talk to him tonight? Maybe we should let him cool down a little more." "No, I think we need to figure this out. Otherwise, I think we're headed for divorce." Jerry could hardly contain his delight. "I really hope it doesn't come to that. I'll tell him to call if he contacts me." A couple of hours later, John called. "Hey, old guy, I need a place to stay. Could you pick me up?" The bartender took my keys. Said I was too drunk to drive. "Ha! I'll be right there." On the way to Jerry's apartment, John was melancholy. "Damn, I miss her already. Did I do the right thing, Jer? I haven't been the best husband, not even close. I think I should call her to apologize." "Are you kidding me? Do it if you want her to walk all over you for the rest of her life. Is she not happy living with you? Let her see what it's like to live without you. Don't call her. Don't take her messages. Not on the phone, neither by text nor by email. Once she's done all the housework and other responsibilities you did, as well as her own, she'll begin to realize how lucky she is. Of course, you run the risk of that Kent guy coming in and taking over your place. In that case, let him be." "Right? Do you really think she would do something like that?" "I don't know. I never thought she would do what she already did." Janice made several attempts to contact John, but was unable to get him to respond. She called Jerry for help. "Jerry, do you know where he is?" "I can't lie to you. Yes, I know where he is. He made me swear not to tell you. He told me to give you a message, and he said you could give me a message for him." "What's his message?" "Okay. Remember, it's John, not me. Janice, I can't believe what happened to our relationship. I'm just glad it happened before we had kids. I'm not sure how we broke up or when they began to consider other options other than staying together. After what you said that night, I am convinced that any further conversations with you would be detrimental to my emotional health. I loved, past tense, you. Now, my hope for you is this gives you the freedom to find what you want in a man, if you haven't already. I know that man is no longer me. You'll sign my papers because it's only fair. I don't want to fight anymore. But if you fight for a fair settlement, you won't believe the wrath that awaits you. I just want this to end. I'll send Jerry for my things. Janice was crying. I didn't destroy our relationship. He left me. I wanted to save our marriage. He just wants to drown me. Do you think he might change his mind and agree to counseling? I doubt it. He asked me to come and pick up his things. I think he found a new place and signed a 1-year contract. If that's the case, I think it's all over for him. I'll come now, if that's okay. That's okay. I need company right now. I also need time to prepare my answer to him. Maybe you could help. Jerry came to Janice and John's house. Janice threw herself into his arms, sobbing. He became excited in anticipation that this could be the night he had been waiting for. Janice stepped back and playfully hit Jerry. Jerry, you old lecher! Hey, it's your fault. No man could resist a beautiful woman like you. He corrected himself. Jerry used all his psychological knowledge to flatter her and approve of her decision to be brave enough to stand up to John. It doesn't matter what Janice writes in her response to John. He will tell him Jerry's version. This time, when Jerry left, he received the usual hug, but tried to extend the kiss and add tongue. I think it will take me a long time before I can do anything close to intimate with another man, even with a wonderful friend like you. Now go back and give John my message. Jerry cursed his luck. He returned to John. John was furious. Jerry had to restrain him from going to his old house and taking revenge on Janice. She's not worth you going to jail for. She's trying to get a reaction out of you. Don't give her that satisfaction. John threw things away and lost the desire to make peace. He signed her papers, and the divorce went through without a hearing or protest on either side. A few months later, they divorced. Janice mourned the end of her marriage at home. She only left the house to go to work and sometimes to dinner with Jerry. Jerry became increasingly upset that he was no longer invited to her house. Finally, he told her, Janice, you're being unfair to me. You divorced John, not me. I didn't deserve to be kicked out of your house like he was. It's almost like you don't trust me. Sorry, Jerry. It's not you who don't trust me, it's me. I'm afraid that I'll be tempted to seduce you to break my loneliness. I think I need something to get out of this prison that I'm in. I've driven myself. You can come tomorrow evening and I promise to behave. Jerry was relieved. Tomorrow night he would enjoy the body he had desired for so long. He was excited, but Jerry was thinking too much about the situation. He was afraid that Janice would get scared again and leave him with unfulfilled expectations. Not anymore. Tomorrow is our night, no matter what. He had his pills ready just in case. Janice invited Jerry inside. He had flowers and wine. While Janice was arranging flowers in a vase, Jerry poured glasses of wine. They were talking. Janice continued to ask questions about how John was doing. It was clear that she still missed him. This irritated Jerry. They are already on their third glass of wine. Jerry decided that the third time was a lucky break. The powder mixed well with Janice's wine. Jerry asked for some music and chose a few old romantic songs. He asked Janice to dance just as the powder began to take effect. They danced close. Jerry started kissing her neck and then biting her earlobes. She moaned with pleasure. You are a bad boy. Jerry lowered himself to her chest. After he removed her blouse and bra, he began to work on her breasts. They were more beautiful than he could have imagined. His efforts paid off. She won't complain in the morning. Enjoying their sex will cement them as a couple forever. Jerry finished undressing her and then took off his own clothes. This was the night he had dreamed of. Bye. The door shattered from John's blow. He stood silently, observing the scene in front of him. Jerry froze in shock. John said, I just found out today that there's no Kent in her office. There never was. I started putting it all together. I talked to her lawyer. I became convinced that Janice had been scammed too. I thought I was wrong about that. John stopped in shock. This was not the Janice he had ever seen or heard before. He came up and looked into her eyes. Her pupils appear dilated and her eyes sometimes roll back in her head. He slipped her something. The ambulance was able to save Jerry's life. Jerry was arrested. John was taken into custody for felony assault. He sat in prison and smiled. Janice tried to visit him, but John refused. He saw Janice again at his trial, but quickly looked away. She cried almost all the time. She testified about the circumstances that led John to beat Jerry. Jerry didn't have to do much other than let the jury see what damage was done to him and see the ruined body he was left with. John did not testify. The only change in his expression occurred when Jerry was giving his testimony. John smiled and at the end made a gesture as if he was shooting at someone. The jury took a long time to decide, despite the fact that the evidence was obvious. Jerry and John eventually both received 8 to 10 years in prison. Janice's letters to John were returning. Her visits were rejected. In his last year, he did not hear from her. His senior year, surprisingly, was only his 4th year. His firm had strong ties to the new governor, and the prisons were overcrowded. He was guaranteed a return to his old job. They changed their policies and procedures to allow individuals with criminal records to be employed with the approval of the full board. John rented an apartment not far from work and from the house where he lived with Janice. Returning to work was harder than he thought. It took him a while to catch up with 4 years of changes and updates. Besides, he was working at a desk again. He compensated by joining a gym and maintaining a level of exercise that brought him to almost bodybuilder-quality muscles. The women in the office noticed this. He kept a collection of pieces of paper with names and numbers on them. It was difficult to resist. One day, he randomly selected one of the pieces of paper and started dialing a number. He couldn't do it. He really wanted to end his sex drought, but he felt compelled to drive past the old house. He felt it was necessary to close this chapter in his life. He drove past slowly, his heart pounding. He thought he was stupid. She probably doesn't even live there anymore. As he drove slowly by, he was surprised to see Janice in the yard, watering the plants. She improved the landscaping while he was gone. It was one of those things he never got around to doing. He stopped and she saw him. There was no noticeable reaction from her. After she stood there for a while, she shouted, "Come in." Then she turned as if she was sure John would follow her. His first reaction was to leave. How could she think that he would simply forget and come when she called? Then he remembered how much he suffered from his hatred. John couldn't hate so much anymore. He parked in the driveway and walked into the house. His first impression was that nothing had changed since he left, as if he was experiencing déjà vu. Janice saw his expression. "I want you to feel at home when you get back. Come in. Dinner is ready." He really started to get that Twilight Zone feeling when it became obvious that she was expecting him. "You look good, Janice. You seem to have lost weight, but you've gotten fit. You've always been beautiful. And you look, wow. You've become a real Arnold Schwarzenegger. I like your new look. How did you know I was coming tonight? I've been making dinner for you every night since you came out. Don't worry about me wasting food. I ate leftovers for lunch the next day. Thank God I won't have to do that tomorrow. You'll pray before you eat, please." John struggled to say thanks to God for his many blessings, and in the name of Jesus. He started to eat but put down his fork. He looked at Janice with tears in his eyes and said, "I'm so sorry. I love you so much. Shut up and eat your food. We've wasted too much time already. Most of this was Jerry's fault. We were both deceived. I don't want it to be either of us' fault from now on. As soon as we finish eating, let's go get your things. I hope prison hasn't changed your sexual preferences because I miss you like hell. But how did you know that I would come back? How did you know that I was ready to be with you again? How about we just go with the flow? Once I understood my own heart, I realized that yours must be too. We were once the same heart. I expected it to stay that way. I don't think differently. It helped me get through every day. Believe me, it was hard to keep our house with what I was making. It was my AZ plan. John sat in amazement as he listened to his ex-wife's story. Janice interjected, "By the way, I lied." John was now in shock. "Lied? About what?" "Let's go get your things first. I'm ready for dessert in our bedroom right now." John stood up and asked, "Is the bedroom the same as before?" "Yes, she's even there." Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.